Oh my God, ran through, no thanks, ha 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 ha. Oh, you should have listened to us. What the fuck, dude? I have three kids by three different dads, and I normally wouldn't tell people that. And I didn't tell people that for a really long time because I know you want to judge me. I know that sounds bad. People make snap judgments, and I know that, hey, I get it. A lot of times people don't change, and their past is the best predictor of the future. But that's simply not always the case. This was actually a really long time ago for me. Like, I got over this. I got over the whole thing that led to me becoming a single mom. The fuck boys, the lack of self respect. And this is 10 years ago that I was struggling with picking the wrong men. Okay. Oh my God, I had a struggle. Oh, I should be so ashamed to ever have been intimate with a man or three men in my life. And I chose the wrong men. Oh my God. I haven't even been intimate with a man in 6 years. I don't go on dates, not because I hate men at all. It's because I had to focus on healing. And this whole culture of shaming people who've made mistakes in the past, or especially shaming single mothers who have a really, really hard job. Ugh, what the hell is going on here? Like, I made a post the other day sharing that piece of information and actually saying how I got over it and how I'm doing so much better now and how much I learned. And yet it was just completely flooded with these Andrew Tate type of men who are just so hateful, so shaming. Oh my God, ran through, no thanks, ha 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 ha. Oh, you should have listened to us. What the fuck, dude? First of all, these type of men, if you want women to behave better, if you want women to make better choices with men and to respect themselves and to be more modest or whatever your goal is, you should be thanking the fuck out of women like me.
I think you can sleep with who you want. You can do what you want, right? That's fine. What and you shouldn't really be shamed for these actions, especially if it's not harming anyone. What men and specifically in dating are saying that that's fine, but you have to they're pretending like your kids are not detrimental to dating is silly. Those are three different lives that someone would have to integrate with. It's a complication. When you minimize it because you feel as if your kids are a blessing and they are to you, men don't feel the same way or strangers don't feel the same way about your children immediately. When we pretend like it's not important, it minimizes what males are saying that is important to them. And then that starts a lot of the back and forth. Before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss no uploads. Um, she's got more to say on this, but I just want to reiterate the point here that often when we'll see these conversations come up, it's like you have to accept me, you have to love my child like you love me. We have to love my child, or this is not going to work. And this is things that are being put forward immediately. Men are saying that one, they'd like their own children, right? We're going with the example of you coming with three kids and a man has none. Well, he's going to say, well, I would like my own children. You may be done with the childbearing game. That's immediate. So like, okay, we're not really going to be, work out long term. That's fine. The men that are on here shaming her, actively shaming her for those choices or making fun of her, this is sort of what we feel is wrong with the internet. And when you go into this red pill rage, you want to find someone and make them feel bad for their life choices. But I don't really see what that ever accomplishes, right? But this is unfortunately this is the side of human nature. This is the ugly side that men often engage in. We're talking to the enlightened people, the one that's saying that this becomes a complex issue. One kid, most people can sort of say, okay, I can understand that. I can get around that. Now you complicate it further when saying you have multiple kids with multiple men. That's when men are saying, well, before I really have a chance to know and understand you, I'm looking at past behavior and I'm using that to determine, well, you may not be with someone I want to be with. I think that's the calmest way to say it. It's not to say that your past behavior is really going to dictate who you are and how you move forward, but your past is still part of you. And now, when you have the physical representation of that past, that adds one, two, three different complications. Lastly, when you minimize it, when you make it seem like it's not a big deal, because you've changed and you're a better person, that's when men start to push back and say, okay, that's fine. Do what you want to do. You're just not someone for me. We tend not to respect men's choices when they say that. But when women say, I don't want to deal with a man with kids, it's okay. It's a preference. Just like you wanted someone over 6 feet. Men are consistently shamed when they voice and say something is not good or is not right for them. So, not that I agree with it, but sometimes I understand how men walk down that path and and end up in that rage situation and just want to sort of be heard, be seen, right? And see that this is a stimuli, this is effect, this is input A, this is output B, and that unfortunately that output part is usually at the cost of how I feel like of a woman's feelings, how she feels about herself, her self esteem, what her worth is. But again, when we when we're simply talking about, and all this is in context of the sexual dating market. This is not saying that because you have kids and multiple baby daddies, that your intrinsic value as a human is lessened. No, you're still worthwhile. You're still worthy of happiness, or you're still worthy of getting what you deserve in life by what you've earned. None of that changes by the choices of men that you've been with in the past. When we try to pretend like it does not matter, I think the best bet for men, rather than going back and forth with a woman online in the comment section, is to simply disengage and walk away, say, and wish people the best. You can disengage with love and say, "Wow, okay, this is not for me. I don't have to explain myself further. That's just what it is." And that should be. I wish that was something that was simply easily met without the constant back and forth when men exercise their options. You don't have to be with anyone you don't want to be. That goes for men and that goes for women, right?
Because I've been there and I'm telling women from a place of like knowing why it's bad, lovingly telling them, don't do that to yourself. It's not worth it. You need to love yourself. And this is what I did. A hell of a lot more chance that they're going to listen to somebody like me than some sort of asshole on the internet who's saying that they should be ashamed of themselves. I choose to share something that risks a lot of judgment and a lot of people saying a lot of mean things in order to be an inspiration. There's not multiple baby daddies floating around. I actually have one that adopted the other two, and he comes on the weekends and he's wonderful. Okay. I had a long-term relationship and he's still there for the kids. I don't have to admit that they don't have the same biological dad, but what good is that going to do? I went through some shit and I want to put that.
So the response to that, and shout out to her for sharing this. The response to that is, if there's no shame with it, then why hide it? Right? Why hide it? If you're saying that there's no shame, it's not something that needs to be hid. When you want to help other people, that's great. That's admirable. We like that. That's courageous. Right. But there still has to be a large modicum of accountability. I made some poor decisions, and luckily they aren't the thing that hindered the rest of my life. But I would not recommend you do the things that I did, because life sometimes gets harder, and sometimes there's a there's a bit of luck involved with you coming out on the other side. But all it's just, we want to give people the best shot at getting what they want in life. And that's sometimes, unfortunately for women, you have to be cognizant of that very early on in life. It's not fair, but it's one of those double standards that cuts the other way. So if this is not something that's for you, a woman with kids, with multiple baby daddies isn't for you. Like most things, that's it's not. You don't have to disparage them. You just wish them the best and continue on your way. Like she said, and she has a good point. What does that do for you? What does that do for her? Not much, right? Not much. The message will become clearer when the engagement drops, right? If men are saying, this is not what I want, then that message eventually, it may take 2, 3 generations, but eventually the result is going to be women understanding, say, it's not as free just having a child and thinking I'm going to still get the ultimate sort of luxury, the ultimate sort of life that I've envisioned. Having a child complicates things. And sometimes it's not to her fault that the man isn't who he said he was. we can get into all these different debates of what should happen, how a man should step up when he has kids. I'm a firm believer of that. I don't like to give men any passes on something like that, but it becomes a complex situation. Some men are still willing to say that doesn't matter. If I get to learn you and your character, and I love that about you, then this is what they're simply saying to accept. We just have to be real and honest and understand that there's a growing majority of men saying absolutely not. Absolutely not. So your young years, or you're free to do whatever you want in your body. We just have to understand and accept that choices have consequences. And that, I think we all can agree, is genderless advice. But if you think I missed something, let me know down in the comments. You see videos on your screen, take a look at those. Let me know what you think about those after you watch those. And if you listen to sound my voice right now and you haven't subscribed, you probably should just subscribe and tell us all why. I'll see you guys in the next one.